I always say selling on Alibaba.com is kind of like being at like 5 trade shows at once.
We've been able to seal a lot of deals just using the platform.
About 50 to 60%. My export business comes from Alibaba.
Growing from doing one order to doing 20 or 30 orders in a 1 or 2 month period, the platform speaks for itself. That's just weight in gold.
I mean, when you do a good job with Alibaba.com, buyers from everywhere around the world, they will know about you. And I can now develop and export my product in over 45 countries.
Once I started with Alibaba, I was able to reach people all across the world, like Tanzania and Kenya and Africa and the UK and Germany.
I'm selling product in UAE, Saudi Arabia, Great Britain, and a host of others. I wouldn't have reached those customers without Alibaba.com.
Selling on Alibaba.com has gotten easier than ever. Introducing our new flexible payment plan options. When you sign up for an Alibaba.com seller membership, choose between paying annually or quarterly. Regardless of which plan you choose, get the same seller service and all-encompassing suite of features that make us the world's leading online B2B marketplace. With 0% commission taken on sales, keep the customer relationships you make and profits you win. Conduct business the way you want to. Build the business you've always wanted, now with more flexibility than ever. Let's make it easy to do business anywhere.
Sell on Alibaba.com.
They made the onboarding process very, very easy. Once I paid my fees, after that, I don't need to worry about anything. If you have a product and you want to sell on international market, I would say you should not wait. You should just reach out to Alibaba.
We've been able to seal a lot of deals just using the platform. The best thing that Alibaba does really is the support that you get, because it's a whole new world once you get on the platform. Eric Cross and his team, they really helped me and my team navigate the website, you know, what to do, what not to do, the best practices. So that really, to me, is like one of the greatest assets to being on the platform.
I think US-based sellers have a huge opportunity, specifically because there aren't that many of them. And we had a dedicated customer service success manager who was incredibly knowledgeable about the platform. And he honestly almost became a teammate. And I have no doubt that anyone else who is going through that process is going to have a similar experience.
Alibaba.com team is absolutely amazing. They were always there, making sure that I understand the platform. They were smart, very reactive whenever I had a question, and they were so patient. And as I continue to grow the business, they continue to connect me with experts to help me with specific business questions.
Why we got such a fast sale, I would attribute it to Alibaba's onboarding team. They've done a really great job building our store for us, and that's one of the reasons why we're so successful, is they know what they're doing, so we trust them to do their job.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar today, Tips on How to Meet the First $1 Million B2B Customer on Alibaba.com. My name is Jessica, and I'm a marketing manager here at Alibaba.com, and I'm zooming in from the Alibaba New York office. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, first things first, before we start, I wanted to learn a little bit about you. So I have like a very brief poll I'm going to use. Okay, so first question, let's learn about you. What are you looking to do on Alibaba.com? Are you thinking of selling products or sourcing products, or both selling and sourcing, or neither? The answers to your questions will help us like kind of figure out how we want to gear some of this talk. So please participate, and we'd love to see it. So we have a few more seconds. Okay. Few more seconds, get your answers in. Okay, alrighty, so I'm gonna end the poll. So it looks like a lot of you are here to both sell and source, which is a really wonderful thing to hear actually, because that's the part of the flexibility. A platform can use it to both source your products and then once source things, and once you use the products to make something, you can then sell. So this is really great. Next, let's please tell us a little bit about your business. There we go. Technical difficulties. So what kind of business are you? Are you a manufacturer, a wholesaler, distributor, a retailer, or do none of these really quite describe what you do? Okay, please let us know. I can wait 15 more seconds. Please get your answers in. And also, yeah, so I think that's good. So let's see. Today, it looks like there's a lot of other, which will be very interesting. But then other than that, the next largest category is wholesale and distributors, which is great because we actually have a special guest on later today whose company is also more of a distributor type. So you can hear about a lot about his journey as well. So great. And then finally, what would you like from us? So here are some different topics that we were thinking about addressing during the course of this webinar. And please let us know what is the most interesting thing for you so we can talk about it more. So how do you attract your first $1 million customer? What qualities differentiate $1 million customers? How can you tell when you're fielding all those inquiries? How to build a relationship with them or how to close the deal? Okay, so your last answer is in. Alrighty, so it looks like the most pressing question here is how to close the deal. So maybe we can at some point address what pushes someone to actually buy from you. Thank you so much for answering our poll. It's really cool to hear about who's here and what you guys are thinking about. And now that since we know about you, here's a brief introduction of Alibaba.com to you so you understand us. Here we go.
Unleash infinite business opportunities with Alibaba.com, the world's largest online B2B marketplace. With over 40 million active buyers, 300,000 daily inquiries, important business deals are being made around the world all the time using our platform. Best of all, we take 0% commission on your sales. By signing up as an Alibaba.com supplier, you keep the money you earn, every single cent. Now is the perfect time to sign up. Professional onboarding services can get you started faster and with less stress than ever. Take advantage of classic Alibaba.com features, such as attracting buyers from over 200 countries and regions to your online store, where they can reach out with inquiries about your products. There's also no need to worry about language barriers. We translate your store and messages into 15 languages so you can communicate with the world with ease. Proactively net orders by browsing and responding to sourcing requests on the Request for a Quotation or RFQ market. Any relationships you gain from reaching out to sourcers on the RFQ market are yours. Finally, attain exclusive data-driven insights and 24/7 customer support from our team right here in the USA. We'll help guide you to success using proprietary insight gained from our over 20 years in online B2B sales. Because of these features, Alibaba.com has become the wholesale B2B platform trusted by US suppliers. Grow with us no matter your business type. Now, it's easier than ever to start selling with our new flexible payment options. Let's make it easy to do business anywhere. Sell on Alibaba.com.
Hope that was an easy and quick introduction to us. Here I'm going to introduce the contents of today's event. And also one thing to note is that throughout the entire time we are having this webinar, you can always ask questions and enter them in the Q&A box below. And then we will have actually 2 Q&A sessions on here. One after a special guest, who is Sam Barron, Director of E-commerce, Second Session King. And then one at the very end for if you have any Alibaba.com specific questions, you can ask our wonderful direct salesperson, Jim Kuo. So here's what we're going to go through today. First, we're going to introduce our special guest, and he's going to talk about his journey and also about some B2B commerce tips. And then we're going to have an introduction to Alibaba.com and also introduction to our main topic, how to meet the first $1 million customer on Alibaba.com. And then also we're going to teach you what you need to do if you want to start selling on the platform very briefly. And of course, we'll also send out ways to contact us in case you have further questions after this webinar. So without further ado, I'm going to first introduce our special guest. His name is Sam. He is the Director of E-commerce at Concession King. They have been on Alibaba.com for 3 years, and they're a distributor wholesaler. So all those distributor and wholesalers who answered the poll just now, they do a similar thing, but with consumer packaged goods, food and beverage, grocery, candy, and snacks. So basically, if you go and see any of these brand name American snacks, they probably sell it, and they are based in Cincinnati, Ohio. So without further ado, you can see a little bit more. Let's introduce Sam. Sam, please welcome.
Hi, Jessica. Thanks for having me, and welcome everybody to today's Alibaba webinar. So today I'm going to talk about just some high-level strategies. I appreciate the poll, Jessica. I think that's a great idea, doing that on the front end of the call, especially for a person like myself who can kind of get an idea of who I'm kind of sharing with. And I just want to level with everybody. I work as a managing director of e-commerce for Shop the King, and we haven't done everything perfectly, but I hope some of the mistakes that we've made and some of the good moves we've made can help all of you today.
Also, you can see Sam at Alibaba.com co-create in September if you want to see him there.
Yeah. So do you want me to just get into it, Jessica, or did you have some like Q&A that you wanted to start with?
It's up to you. You can go first. Yeah.
Cool. Then I'm just gonna roll with it if that's cool with you. And hopefully I can connect with everybody today, or at least connect with a few of you, and hopefully connect some dots. I don't know what other is, but I think for those of you that are in the wholesale distribution or retailer or reseller kind of space, I think that we can draw a lot of parallels this afternoon, and I'm going to hopefully share some content that'll add some value. And then I also hope to answer that question of kind of how to close. A lot of my talk and the strategies that we've deployed over the last 3 years have helped us close that $1 million customer that I know that Alibaba is going to be sharing a little bit later. But I also think it's important to note too that everybody wants to land a whale of a customer and get a huge account, but something that's really special about our business is that there's not one customer that makes up more than 5% of our whole company. And I think Alibaba.com's helped us out a lot in diversifying our customer base, both domestically and internationally. So without any further ado, I'm just going to get into my content. So the topic that I'm sharing today, and that Jessica kind of intimated, I'll be sharing this a little bit more of this content as well in Las Vegas the first week in September at the Alibaba Co-Create Symposium. I'm going to be talking today about the strategy and toolkit for success. So, some of the things that I think are really important when you're going to endeavor on e-commerce, and, as the co-founder, managing director of this company, we started from nothing a little over 3 years ago. So we were a legacy business that had a really strong brick and mortar presence. We still do today, but we had zero e-commerce. And so I'm going to talk today about the strategy, some of the solutions that we've provided to our customers to make the e-commerce work. I'm going to talk about how we created a funnel to consolidate our customer experience down to a single solution. And then what kind of things we do in between to ultimately connect with those customers and execute on our services. So, when we talk about strategy, I think this is where every company really should start. High level, I'm a personal firm believer that you kind of need to start with the end in mind. What are the objectives and goals that you're trying to accomplish, whether it be Alibaba or some other type of e-commerce marketplace? When we started, and I'll just share our kind of story and our background, our goal was to direct traffic and expand our footprint outside of the areas that we serviced on our trucks and outside of the service area that we've had from our legacy business. And so in order for us to do that, we needed to take an omni-channel approach, meaning we sell on multiple marketplaces today. The goal is not to be a prolific seller on the marketplace, but the goal is for us to ultimately drive that traffic back to our site, where we can offer a better customer engagement. And a lot of times we can actually offer better pricing directly on our site versus another third-party marketplace. I think once you have the outcome in mind and where you want to go with your company, then the next thing to do is develop your process. How are you going to build your products? How are you going to market those products? What are you going to do once a customer is interested in a product? Do you have the personnel in place? I was excited watching those videos, and we were fortunate enough to be displayed a couple of times on those 2 videos. So thank you, Alibaba team, for kind of the plugs there. But what is the personnel that it's going to take? Is that something that you want to invest in internally, or do you want to use the Alibaba.com sales professionals, which we've got experience on both ways, and I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on in my talk here. And then, what's your plan to service your customers? So, again, is that something that's going to be internal? What is your current sales process, and how is that going to work as it plays into your bigger strategy as you endeavor into e-commerce and selling on Alibaba.com? Now, what I'm going to share with you next are kind of some solutions. So something that's unique about Alibaba is there's different ways you can configure and set up your catalog or set up your products. I don't think that either one of these is necessarily the right or the wrong way. I think each business use case, would warrant one over the other, or maybe a combination of both. For our use case in particular, we stock a little over 10,000 SKUs. So for us, there's kind of 2 different ways that products are configured. One is having a ready-to-ship solution, and that would be pretty standard to what you see today on any normal third-party marketplace, where a customer could go on, they could click an order, and you would essentially, as the retailer or the seller or the distributor, fulfill that order directly to the consumer or directly to the retailer, however that product works out. Now, for our use case, we found that was a little bit more of a challenging hurdle from a technology standpoint and from an information speed standpoint, keeping up to date with pricing, product information, products becoming discontinued, different things like that. There were definitely some hurdles for us early on. And because we have such a large catalog, it was too hard to manage all of those items. So we opted for the more of a customized approach. And this also played into the greater strategy of our whole business. Like I said, when I started, our goal wasn't to be a great seller on any given channel, but our goal is to funnel all those channels back to our e-commerce store. So customized products have been a really great fit for us for a couple of reasons. Number one is it gives us kind of a static product shelf. We've used Alibaba's sales professionals to optimize and build those listings, create the quality content. We actively advertise with very specific and strategic keywords across words and searches that we know are relevant and that have a high density of search inquiries. And our goal ultimately is to just use Alibaba as kind of like a catch-all to catch the customer, get them interested, and then drive that traffic to our e-commerce site where, like I said earlier, we can service them at a higher level than directly on Alibaba.com or any other third-party marketplace. And in a lot of examples, we can offer better pricing. Now, one of the things that we learned the hard way starting out was we didn't have a huge technology budget. And to be honest, we didn't really have a lot of the know-how. So when we started out, we actually were using 3 different software tools just to manage all of our different e-commerce channels. On top of that, we were using Excel spreadsheets, and that's kind of how we got started on Alibaba. So I think in the last 3 years, they've made leaps and bounds in terms of what that onboarding process looks like. When we started, it wasn't the smoothest start because we just didn't have our ducks in a row and we just didn't know what we didn't know. Today, we've got some tools in place that have been absolutely instrumental in not disrupting and disturbing our legacy core business and allowing some bolt-on tools to take us to the next level from a technology standpoint. So we have a legacy ERP system that's pretty sophisticated, but it doesn't play well with e-commerce. So we suck out a company called WidestNet Technologies, and we partnered with them to build basically a custom solution for us about 2 years ago. And my co-founder, the owner of this company, invested a tremendous amount of resources, and we actually helped kind of this company pioneer kind of an ERP middleware tool that is essentially a business in a box if you want to sell on e-commerce. So today, this WidestNet tool essentially is our single source of truth for all of our product information, all of our product data. It's our vendor management tool. It powers our Shopify store, which is where we want to funnel all of our customers to have the most up-to-date pricing, product information, inventory, etc. And then it allows us to have some CRM components to go directly to the consumer. And all that product information powers the Alibaba storefront alongside our Alibaba seller expert, which I plugged our pioneer who was kind of our gray-haired pilot, Chad Michael Renner. So I threw his little QR code on there for anybody that wants to look at him and get his background. But before he actually worked for Alibaba, he was a very successful Alibaba seller. And I was fortunate enough to have met Chad a number of years back, and he was our original expert that helped us get our account set up. So I definitely echo a lot of those testimonies that were in those videos early on. If you're just gathering some information about Alibaba.com, I think having some technology tools in place are going to be essential for you getting your content and your products aligned, but then also aligning with an expert that can really help you navigate the platform. I think is a game changer, irrespective of your level of technology and understanding. So now that we've got all the tools in place and we have our products optimized on Alibaba and we've got our advertising and our keywords, so now what? Alibaba for us has been a pretty big game changer in terms of creating the funnel. And when I say funnel, is we use Alibaba as just this giant trade show. And I think somebody in that intro video was talking about how it's like a trade show on steroids, like there's 5 trade shows going on at the same time. And we kind of feel like that too. So today we have a pretty well-defined process of customers engage with us on Alibaba. We direct them directly to our e-commerce storefront, where we encourage them to create an account with us, fill out our B2B wholesale application. And from there, we can start having some really personalized touch points with how we engage with those customers, whether it be, figuring out, are they looking for pricing? Are they looking for a better service model? Are they looking for maybe just hard to get products? So identifying those opportunities by connecting with those customers as quickly as possible has been really important for us. In our traditional business, vetting and qualifying customers would typically take a few days to vet through, going through W-9 documents or credit loan applications and different things like that. We have a goal today to vet our customers within a 24-hour period based on the information that they provide us. So again, leveraging a lot of those technology tools allows us to create customers on the fly, which couldn't be done before. Now, one of the polls came in, how do you close a customer? We are not very good salespeople. As an e-commerce company, we're actually not salespeople, but we focus internally on our culture around adding value to our customers and service. When I originally did this deck, I wrote service. And when Alibaba looked at this, they were like, I think you need to put more content in. But at the end of the day, when you folks want to know how to close, I think it's about adding value to your customers. We're pretty transparent when we talk to new customers, especially because we don't manufacture or sell any of our own branded product. We're a distributor of a lot of A+ branded product. We may not always win on price, and we're pretty forward with that. But we always tell our customers, maybe where we don't win on price, we'll absolutely win on service. And I think that's what's really set us apart on this marketplace. There certainly has been turnover of customers that have come and gone because maybe they are only searching for price. But when we talk about this topic of $1 million customer, we have $1 million customer that we have acquired through Alibaba. But I think acquired is actually the wrong word. I think earning their business is the right word. And we did it all through service. And this customer today shops multiple times per week. Nobody else has ever given them service like we give them. We respond immediately. We've helped them whether they want to arrange for pickup or we arrange for the logistics. Just every touch point along the way, we want to make sure that experience is great, because in this busy world of e-commerce, it's really easy to go shop somewhere else. So that's kind of our secret to success is delivering our promise of what we say, having customer service be our number one priority and having a customer-centric approach, and then constantly following up with how we can add more value, not how we can sell more product. And that's all that I have to share today. So Jessica, thanks for inviting me out to share today. I definitely want to turn it over to the participants that are on the call. If there's any questions that you all have, I'm happy to stick around and answer any questions. I have my email on here. This is our corporate email address, but if you ask for me, one of our customers, sales associates will forward that inquiry over to me. So if anybody has any follow-up or anything that maybe I could be of value to you to help you start your selling journey, whether it be on Alibaba, on e-commerce, some technology solutions. We've kind of been through a lot of different things. So wanted to just throw that out there, and I'll turn it back over to you, Jessica.
Thank you so much for that really wonderful, like insightful, like it felt very like personalized kind of like presentation, because I loved how you like worked in the $1 million customer stuff and then gave very practical advice. So thank you so much. Right now is the Q&A session. And if you want to ask any questions, you can still submit them in the Q&A. There is one question currently, which is if there's more information or a URL for WidestNet. So if you want to, I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure WidestNet at this point is just in beta for us, but because of the tools we've helped them develop, you could look up widestnet.com and reach out to them. I know the engineers and developers we've been working with on that project are excited to further roll out that product to a more broad audience in the next couple months. So I think there's a wait list to get on that program, but we're pretty proud to have helped kind of pioneer that journey. So you can check them out there.
Also, like, I guess just personally, because I'm curious, like, how did you guys first meet this $1 million customer that now shops multiple times a week?
That's a great question. So this customer is actually another distributor, and they're in a different country. And in that country, I guess they have a difficult time sourcing certain goods. And they have a very, very specific process on how they import, which was really helpful to us. But what they really needed help with was finding some hard to get items. And so the other thing is they wanted to use credit card to purchase. So we offer a couple different kinds of payment, and I think that's also really important. But I also think it plays into your overall pricing strategy. So this particular customer actually pays a little more for their product because we have to factor in credit card transaction fees. But we started with, they were just inquiring about a given SKU, and they said, hey, I see you got a lot of this brand, but you don't have this particular product. Could you help me source it? And so we got together with our buyers, and it all kind of started with an inquiry to find a hard to get item, which we found no problem. And then they needed, and one thing kind of led to another. And it just was like this concierge kind of approach is how it started. And at the time, I think it was a really popular sports drink that they wanted. And we were able to get it, and we were able to get a lot of quantity of it for them. And then from there, it's kind of snowballed. And today they order a minimum of a pallet a week. Most of the time it's 2 or more pallets a week.
Oh, well, like, I feel like it sounds like a lot more like what you're doing is actually more just like building up a relationship with this person, because it's like it sounds like a back and forth situation.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there's some other question here. There's another question that says, would you consider Alibaba.com to have a longer sales cycle given it is B2B?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's really interesting because we have some customers. It's really interesting. We have a new customer segment in Kuwait. Actually, they just started ordering from us about 3 months ago, and it started out with one individual, and then 2 and 3, and I think now there's 4 individuals that are all within the same block. So I'm kind of just assuming that they're little convenience stores in Kuwait, and there I don't think has been really any service with that particular customer. I think it's just we have a reliable solution. Our technology from an international standpoint, we've got some very sophisticated technology that allows for duties and customs to be calculated at checkout. So the international experience is really smooth. So for them, that sales cycle was really, really quick. And for us, it's really no maintenance. I think that's just a serendipity of being on Alibaba. But there's other customers, and we've used the Ali Match program, which I think is really special, because that kind of connects you with the whale kind of customer. And we've had two opportunities to pitch larger chain-based companies, both domestically and internationally. Neither of those have panned out, but the entire process was definitely longer. And I think it just depends on the customer base and how much bureaucracy there may or may not be on the procurement side of the company you're trying to work with.
Okay. I mean, I'm really glad that you guys got to use Ali Match and stuff. Like that's also like a newer product, usually used on the buyer side. But I guess you guys are like the sellers they're connecting people to. Let's see. There's another question here that says, how many years were you on the platform before you found good traction?
Great question. Yeah, and I'll be really honest with this one. So we started out, it was really a rough ride for us getting started. We didn't have the technology. We were using 3 different software tools plus Excel spreadsheets. We didn't have a process. I kind of took on another job just trying to figure out Alibaba, which was really frustrating. And we were actually about to quit Alibaba.com. And at the time, I got on the phone with the North American salesperson, and I'm not sure if he's still with the company or not. It doesn't even really matter. And I said, look, we're super frustrated. We've been at this for over 6 months. We have 0 success to prove for this. It's super challenging. And, we want our money back, and we're going to move on. It's just not the right time. And that was the conversation that individual put me in touch with Chad, and who's now, I think, he head of North American sales for Alibaba. So at the time, he wasn't working for Alibaba. And it turns out he coincidentally lives in the same town as me. So we were able to get together for a cup of coffee, which was pretty funny. And I'd say that next 6 months was really a building phase for us, because we had like kind of a wonky process of all of our product info. But Chad helped us kind of navigate getting the product up. And then as soon as we got the products optimized, and I think that's the most time consuming part. So that's where I think it's really well worth your time and whatever investment there may be to hire a specialist to get your products listed and optimized. That's where we really started getting traction. So I don't have the specific numbers, and I'll have them for my talk in Vegas, but we get around 2 to 3 unique B2B inquiries every single day. And we've gotten those for the last at least 2 years. So that's well over 1,000 contacts that we've gotten through being on Alibaba.com. But I think again, just working with that professional, let them get your products up. Just get all your data organized so that they can, get it on the platform in a correct fashion, and there's not a lot of edits that need to be made.
Well, how long did it take you to get your products listed? That's another question.
Yeah, I mean, again, I deferred a lot of that to Chad and his team. So I didn't personally set up any of the items because it was too frustrating of a process. And again, I'm just being transparent and honest. And this was 3 years ago. So again, I don't think that's how the process is today. So I'm just giving you the unfiltered version, but the sales team is the one that'll help you get those products up and make it easy for you. Just like those other testimonies said on the initial video.
Yeah. And finally, we have one final question from Cindy. It says, can a customer view the item and order and have it shipped from my website? Well, I think that relates a lot to what you were saying before, I think.
Yeah, so that is, if we went back to my deck, that's the customized product. And so that's how all of our products are configured today, which for our business and for our strategy, we wanted to create a funnel to bring everyone back to our site. And I think that's a great approach. I think that's a great solution. And I think it gives you a single touch point instead of having to manage website A, website B, website C, marketplace 1, marketplace 2, et cetera. If you can create that funnel and you have the fulfillment solutions for it, I think that would be my preference.
Okay. And then there is one more question. That's like, what is the cost of hiring Chad? Well, Chad is now the head of the account management team. And I believe that you get your own dedicated account manager depending on certain Alibaba.com seller packages, which we'll talk about actually later in this presentation. But yeah, so if there's are there any, so we'll answer your question a bit, Karen, but is there anyone else, any other questions? If not, then thank you so much for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you in September. Like you can always search for like our co-create event, and Sam's also going to be there. So yeah.
Thanks, Jessica. Bye now.
Bye. Okay, and now we're going to switch to the more Alibaba.com centered part of this this webinar. So welcome to Jim, who is our enterprise account manager. Go.
Good day, guys. So thanks for Jessica and thanks for Sam. I believe he gave us so many tips and a secret. So now we're going to talking about what is Alibaba.com. Down a second. Let me share my screen very quick. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. Hello. Jessica. Hello. Jessica. It's something. Hello, Jessica.
Hello, would you like me to share the slides for you? I can also.
Yes, please, because my computer just playing up, probably too excited.
No problem. Okay, let's figure out the slides. And here.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
So, again, hi, my name is Jim. I'm an enterprise executive at Alibaba.com. So previous job, I worked for a trade show company. So I was in charge of 15 trade shows. So probably one of you, you are my old clients. So I believe everyone knows, Alibaba.com have been running for 24 years, and we are the largest B2B e-commerce platform. So the things like we have two platform now. You can search on our website, and we have the app as well. So thanks for 24 years networking. So can we go next, please? Next slide, please. Thank you. So just thanks for 24 years networking. So now we have a 40 million active buyers. So when I saw this figures, I really cannot believe that, but this is true, okay? So I'm a kind of old-fashioned guy, but this is true. And we have 200,000 suppliers. And the most amazing is like we have almost 6,000 categories. It means like everything you can imagine of, you can find on Alibaba.com, and anything you cannot imagine of, you can find on Alibaba.com as well. And can we go next page, please? So the things like we all talk about like a global buying, global selling. So if you can see your left-hand side, the top 10 countries, the buying countries from United States, UK, Canada, Australia, and Mexico. So if you want to expand your B2B sales channels, in which countries, let's say I want to expand to Australia, Alibaba.com is the first choice for you because we're the largest B2B e-commerce and it's one global market for you. So if you want to know more about that, you can book meeting afterwards, but it's okay. I don't want to sound like a commercial. I'm sorry, sometimes I talk too much. Jessica, just stop me anytime you like. So can we go next page, please? So we got to provide all the tools to make sure you have a successful business. The first one is like, just like Sam mentioned about, we're going to help you to set up your storefront, and we're going to, help you to list your products. And the good things like, you can unlimited list your products, not like other e-commerce platform. And another things like, just like Jessica and Sam mentioned about, we have a real-time translation. And the one good features is like a RFQ, we call like a request for quotation. This is amazing features nobody have. And I'm going to, talk about this later on. So can we go next page, please? And I believe everybody knows how to get your first $1 million deal on Alibaba.com. They have, Sam just shared some tips and secrets, but now I'm going to give you more like what kind of tools I'm going to provide you. Can we go next page, please? Can we go next one, please? Thank you. So this is the statistics. So now B2, we compare B2B and a B2C. B2B now is 6 times larger than B2C transaction nowadays, because now it's 20.9 trillion. So if you haven't tapped into the B2B e-commerce, this is really a right time to tap in, because you don't want to miss out this boat. So can we go next page, please? So this is one sample of our storefront. So the things like we're going to make things so easy for you. So how you build up your storefront, you just give us the onboarding team, what kind of image you like, you have a brand image, what kind of colors, or you have any reference, we're going to build up everything for you. So don't worry about that. So why storefront is so important for you? Because you're going to have all your products here. And if you look like a more professional, and the professional buyers, they think, oh God, this is a really legit business. So, and if you see the right hand, the corner one, they have the live message. So it means like if I'm the buyer from Texas, I have a lot of clients. They add, they actually link the message to their WhatsApp. So like a buyer from Kansas, hey, I want 100 pieces from you. You can reply.
Hello?
So this is really important, if you can use that. And so it means like if you can quick response, this is so important, because like in general speaking, they have like one buyers, they're gonna to send out 3 quotation, three inquiries. So if you can reply earlier, it means you can, you're gonna get that deal. So this is we just mentioned about RFQ market. So the things like you can search, let's say, if I'm the buyer, I send out the inquiry to this supplier, and this supplier hasn't replied for 48 hours, and this gonna to go back to our RFQ market. It means like if you go to trade show, you never can meet real buyers. They're going to give you all the criteria, everything, right? But on Alibaba.com, if you as a seller, you always can look everything like, the real buyers. Let's say, they have the list here. So if you can see, let's say I want to sell like a sports wear. And if you just type into the keywords, and the sportswear will be there. And let's say they have the United States, a buyer, they want 1,000 pieces. You can send out your quote immediately. So this simple like that. You got to meet the real buyers. It's not just, passive to waiting for buyer. You actually actively to looking for real buyers. This is a really valuable thing for Alibaba.com. So.
Click on that.
Okay, and we're going to give you all the data. It's not like some e-commerce platform. We're going to give you all the demographic, and we're going to give you like a top 10 keyword trend, and a top 10 like a product trend, because this is so important. As everybody knows, now data is a king. So we're going to give you all the tools. Let's say, last quarter, the top products is less, white collars, sportswear. So the things like you always can adjust your product line for next quarter or next month. And more importantly, you can automate your keywords, because we got to give you top 10 trend keywords. In e-commerce, automation is so important for this. So we're going to give you that. And now, like everybody going to ask how to sell on Alibaba.com. So we got to make so easy for you, The things like, don't worry, once you want to join Alibaba.com, and we take no commissions from you, of course, but we're gonna to have an annual membership. But once you pay the membership fee, we're going to provide you all the onboarding services. The things like we're going to help you to set up the storefront, as I mentioned about that, and then we're going to help you to list the products. And it depends on your package. We're going to assign you a dedicated US-based account manager, because I think this is a key to success on Alibaba.com. Because a lot of person, even my even for myself, I'm gonna spend so much time to know what is Alibaba.com, how it operates on Alibaba.com. But one expert, just like Chad, they're going to, he going to hold your hand to give you all the tips, to help you pass through all the, troubles. This is important thing. And then, I would say, like, for the first 3 months, you're going to do the onboarding, or 2 months, and then we're going to make sure you know how to grow on Alibaba.com. So we're going to, we're going to invite you to join like AC course, like it's an Alibaba.com seller training e-courses. And for the account manager, you always have a person can reach out to. This person gonna to make sure, you understand Alibaba.com, and they got to automate like your keywords, your accounts every month, and have a meeting. Not not like a platform. You got to talk to random customer support, but we have a person know all your accounts. So this is just mentioned about what is USA account manager important. The things like he know or she knows your situation. She knows what kind of accounts going on, and they're going to provide you one-on-one training as well, and a person to understand you, to help you, to hold your hand. For the first year, I would say this is really a crucial, really important. For if you know everything for the next year, you can just do by yourself. So now we're talking about the price, okay? So the price is like the standard one, just like to answer previous questions. The standard one is really basic. For someone, you have a big e-commerce team and you know how to operate on Alibaba.com, you can go standard, because we only provide you like an onboarding service. But for the premium, if you want chat or account manager to help you, you're going to choose the premium one. So the premium one is like almost 10,000 a year. But the things like if you think about, if you attend the trade shows, you're going to spend like a 20,000 for 3 to 5 days. But Alibaba.com, just like Sam and Jessica mentioned about that, this is a whole year membership, and we're going to make sure you're going to success. And this is going to generate a lot of leads, and they're going to open your B2B sales channel. So the first year you can go premium to learn everything, and for the following year you can downgrade or you can upgrade. So it depends on you. So this is all the like our seller successful stories. You can look through everything, because they have a different categories. They have a tester, and they have the drink a beverage, everything. So strong suggest you can scan that QR code and look through all the videos, because you got to learn their tips. Because the things I read upfront, I only want to have a long-term business partnership with any sellers. I want to make sure they they can success on Alibaba.com, because this is the way we grow together. Okay, now is the Q&A.
Okay. Hello. So we can both be on here at the same time. Hello. Hello. So here is Jim and me. Jim's laptop actually died halfway through this thing, which is why we're borrowing the same laptop currently. But okay, so let's see if there's any questions. So I guess we did kind of answer Karen's question about what's the cost of hiring Chad. It's like, is it like the premium plans? Yes. Or higher, where you can actually have a chat. Let's see, is there anything else? There's another question that says, is it okay to check the quality of the product by getting the sample first? This one. which I think this is mostly about like the ready to ship stuff, right? Like the minimum order quantity stuff.
Quantity. Yes.
Quality of the product by
product.
by getting a sample.
Yes, the things like I believe you are the buyer, right? So the things like if you want to source on Alibaba.com, of course, this is a big a B2B e-commerce platform. You cannot just order one container immediately, right?
Many.
Yeah, no. So
Like
a lot of
hundreds and hundreds of things.
no, so a lot of buyers they got to do what? They got to just purchase like 2 or 3 samples, but different MOQs they have different pricing point. If you just buy 2 or buy 1, you got to get a retail price. But if you got 100, they have different pricing point. So of course you can do that.
Okay, great. And there's another question. Does the package dictate the type of service and support you receive? So I think maybe we want to go back to this slide, kind of. So yeah, right.
Okay, so the package really depends on your business goals and your budgets. Let's say that I'm really upfront. So the things like if you have a big e-commerce team and if you know how to operate on Alibaba.com, of course, I would suggest you do standard. But if you don't know how to operate, I think these kind of investments, you really have to do that because I would say most of our clients, they all start from premium package, but because they do need a person, account manager to hold their hands, because
and also some companies may not have an in-house e-commerce team.
yes,
Yeah.
so that's why you need an extra person, an extra hand to help you out. Think about, we have the account manager always there, can help you out. And if you don't want to search online because that is not real from Alibaba.com. This is like a rumor or anything, but Chad or his team members, they do understand how you grow how you boost your traffic organically.
And also they understand the platform, like in and out, all the ins and outs of the platform.
Yeah, and the different features. So I think I would suggest you do premium first, but it really depends on your budget as well.
Yeah, because I think it kind of evens out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there's another question. It says, is there an option that we can see all the advantages, features, and benefits for each membership package?
Yeah, of course, because now we just in a webinar now,
Yeah.
right? So please just book
There are a lot
meeting
of
with
features.
yeah, please just book meeting with me. So I believe Jessica gonna to put my my link there.
Your QR code, the QR code on the screen currently is actually the booking link. And if you can't use QR codes right now, maybe you're watching this on your phone. In the chat, I've also sent Jim's Calendly link so you can book a meeting with him. So we can just talk to him. He'll explain all the differences.
Yeah, because I'm going to spend an hour to show you all the features because I want to understand your business as well. I want to make sure we can match your expectations. Yeah, I don't want you just on Alibaba.com and I gotta this is
not what I want.
Yeah, so the things I want to make sure everybody got a successful business. So please book a meeting with me. And if you book meeting with me, I'm if you want to join Alibaba.com, of course, I'm going to apply discounts as well. So don't tell another people because this is limited. So if you want to book meeting, I'm going and then if you want to join, I'm going to apply discounts as well.
Yeah, and also just I feel like a lot of times people don't fully understand all the different ways you can use the platform. And even if you are doing B2B, there are different kinds of B2B companies and what you do and where you fit on the supply chain. I feel like if you book the meeting, then you can have a more in-depth discussion that's personalized to your business.
Yeah, and I'm gonna to show you your industry trend because you want to know what is your category doing on Alibaba.com and worldwide, so you understand better.
What markets are
which
looking
market
for you.
Yes.
And stuff like that. And I think I remember other people on your team have mentioned to me that some people sign up for Alibaba.com purely to get access to the data and understand where and how to sell.
because like I don't want to say the name, okay, start from A. So it's like some like an e-commerce platform. They won't give you like a full access to the data, but we we got to open everything for you. So the data is a king. You got to the trend. So now you know how to do your business, not just like you read this, you read that, but we got real data for you because it's from 2 million buyers. So this is a huge accurate data.
Yeah, and if you visit the YouTube channel that Jim mentioned previously, there's actually multiple times different sellers talked about how they like looked at the data and then realized that there was like a market that they never realized was out there. Like they were like, oh my God, people in Saudi Arabia love my product.
Yeah, you know what? I've got to share the last story from mine. Okay, so one of my clients, he kind of like a small business owner, and the things like he kind of shocked because he just called me, say, hey Jim, a person just ordered one container from me. I said, okay, this is Alibaba. Okay, it's not end consumer. So the things like you got to operate your thing, you got to make real sales, and how you do that, just like I said, mentioned about that, we have to operate, we have to automate, and we have to work together. So we have another question.
We have one more question. What is the most lucrative product selling?
Okay.
So
Karen,
we're gonna speak as if because mostly I think we're mostly here to help US based businesses. So like what are the most lucrative products for US based suppliers?
Okay, this is a really big question because I'm going to tell you because it's a trend. I cannot give you the real answers, but the things like most lucrative things like you have to think about, it's a trend, it's about your category. But now the top 10 categories like a food and beverage, and apparel, furniture, etc. But every trend is like when I pull out the data, every month they got different trends. So it's not always there. It's always depends on your product. Even you in the furniture product industry, but you sell something it's nobody has. So
like
you're gonna have to have
idea.
that. Yeah. So it's always back to your products. It's about industry, yes, but it's about your products as well.
Yeah, because I think one of the things we often talk about is like for US based businesses is that because a lot of products that are either you eat or they go on the skin so like beauty products and stuff and work really well because like the US has the FDA, which is not every country has an FDA.
And the things like I shouldn't talk about that much, but a lot of buyers, they're looking for local supply as well because the global chain is a little bit different now. During the COVID, after COVID,
that scared the shit out of people.
Yeah, they love local suppliers. So, and a lot of others buyers from different countries, they're looking for American buyers because I'm sorry, they're looking for American brands because they think it's like a reliable and the quality. Yes. Yeah. So this is our niche market here. So that's why we encourage a lot of American suppliers can join Alibaba.com to find your buyer because we have a lot of buyers out there. They do need American suppliers.
Or they would just prefer American products.
Yes.
And that's a really great point. Does anyone have any other questions? If not, then I think we're wrapping up because we've overstayed our time a bit.
Yeah.
But
and one last thing, don't forget to put your meeting. Okay, if you have any question, I'm really happy to help you out. If I don't have time, I have my team. We always can help you. Any questions you'd like to know?
Also, there's one more thing, which is that there is another webinar next Wednesday at 2 p.m. and I actually put the registration link for it in the chat as well. And I think it should be the latest message. And we have like a special guest, which is like their name is Launch Metrics, and the other person speaking is our director of business development in North America. And they're going to talk about digitalization for brand performance, which is very important also for getting your products out there into the world. I'm going to give you a few more seconds to click on whatever you need to click on. If you are all good, then thank you so much for joining our webinar today. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
This is so much fun with virtual background.